Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is time again for a native line battle. Choppers at dawn, all that kind of funky stuff, and of course mass arrowing. And no doubt there'll be a little bit of cavalry in there. Now, here is the shield wall. And there's the Tercio troops, and the 15th Hussars, and the Capuche. Now, Swadia versus the Nords. You can see the 78th and the 77Y are on the side of the Kingdom of Swadia, and for the Nords we have the 15th, the Calatravans, obviously, the Legion 46, and so many others. So, oh, random archer, McNewby, Archer McNewby, fantastic. And now, oh, he may now be archer wounded, but we'll have to wait and see. As you can see now, these two guys engaging with mass arrow fire between the two hills. So here is, of course, the 78th doing a fine shield wall. Penis Paladin there, and Chaff with a lovely kill on the Pyros. And here, of course, are there's Wood Elf Ranger taking an arrow or two, as you can see. Arrow sticking out of her midriff, poor girl. And then you've got the Baker with an arrow sticking out of his shoulder. English Hitman with an arrow sticking out of nowhere. And there is Mr. Hams, the hog ham himself. So now you can see the troops moving up with the crossbowmen. There's Jam John. And there's Bradders as well. And there's Tweet as well in as a crossbowman. So you can see some of these guys taking fire until the shield wall guys get into position. There's British Dino and Stupidness Oko. So you can see these guys. Oh, Cadet Rev. Cadet Rev taken down with a beautiful headshot. So you can see there. Oh, look at that. Cadet Rev. Oh, right on the brain case. Oh, more fire coming in. As now you can see the quick one taking down Archer Ugar. And here, or there I should say, is the Nordian Cavalry. It's Prof Troll, Hidzi, Ray. English Hitman dies. And there's Fralla. And of course, so the Cake Tin Heads here. And there's Night Gaz, the leader, no doubt. As you can see, taking a little bit of fire from front and back. So they're now obviously taking a little bit of fire. They've got to be careful. Now you can see... Oh! Very ladylike shout. So here we go. Here's George Smollett and the 78th Penis Paladin. And they're throwing sharpened penises at them, though. They're throwing... Oh, there's Chicken Slayer Radwell. Marksman, the quick one. So obviously the slayer of chickens there. You don't mess with Chicken Slayer. And so now the Swadian's waiting. Oh, as Gamer catches an arrow. Fantastic. As you can see here, the line of the Nordics doing a fantastic job. There's Cross Expo Lover. Dan from the Hussars. Look at this beautiful line. This is fantastic. There's obviously the Tercio. And there's obviously the Calatravan forces with Archer Royston at the back with a rather large shield, which I think he's going to need. As you can see, a massive, huge line of these troops. Oh dear. Capuche taken down. Oh, look at that. Fire coming in from Tweet, taking down Huskar Sterling. And also Archer balling it. Don't even think about it. I really need to close down things. We might be coming back to you with another round, so we'll have to wait and see. My apologies for the sound in the background there, boys and girls. Very annoying, but never mind. I'll just... son of a bitch. Give me a second. Sorry about that. So you can see the mass murdering continuing. In this middle here, there's a Swadian Knight. Oh, that was a lovely kill by Hidzi into poor old Quickler Capuche. And here is obviously Shakalis. Oh, lovely stab into one of the enemy horses. Look at that. Fantastic stabbies going on. And now we can wait and see what's happening. Let's see how are the numbers looking. So, yeah, I think the Nords have it in their advantage. As you can see, Bravehead being sliced by a massive axe. Prof Troll, who seems to have lost all his weapons, which is obviously not conducive to... But no, he's going to have more swords. He's going to have shields all round him. There's Midgarder in as the crossbowman. Oh, there we go, having a bit of a fight. A quick one getting in there. Managing to catch a lance in the face. So now you can see Midgarder continuing to work, and you can see there Vul taking down Calatravan Knights. There's Charles Horn with an axe in his shoulder, as you can see, and the veritable loads of arrows sticking out of him. Oh, look, who's that on the floor? That's Zitage of Calatrava. Finished off, and there's Thomas hacking away like a madman. And the Swidian Knights have succeeded. So, let's see how we get on with the next round. Hello, boys and girls. We're back in the server, and due to Cucumber-related problems, unfortunately, yeah, it was Cucumber. It was all his fault, and he's a noob. And you can see there that the British Dino just managed to get team killed by Rickamaroo. And it looks like the Swardian have won another round. So, as you can imagine, this is Mr. Cucumber Wang, who, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you will be familiar with.
Hello.
There we go. See, look, he even talks. It's quite amazing.
Sometimes.
So, you can see, obviously, it's looking pretty good for the Swardian team. They're up against the Nords. They've had a little bit of a rebalance. So, you've got some people over onto the Swardian side now that weren't there previously. I think it's mainly the Tercio, so we'll have to wait and see how that goes. So, looking at the cavalry at the moment, you can see them moving out, going to be doing some advanced scouting. And what are you looking at the moment there, Cucumber?
I'm watching the Swardian infantry form their lines, getting organised.
So yeah, now obviously you've got, what they're going to do is pretty much what they do most of the time. They'll get in there, they'll set up their shield wall, and then they'll start flinging arrows and pole arms and God knows what else at each other. So, as is the norm, you've obviously got a selection of crossbowmen led by Sergeant Andre, and
yes,
the Baker, who seems to have been distracted by something shiny and left behind. So, not really much to say. What are the Nords up to over there?
Trying to have a look.
We can see that Gaz managing to get a nice kill on Huskal Bandy already, so it looks like the Swardian cavalry has already started to make a little bit of an inroad into the enemy's lines, but I think it was a hit and run attack, as we're watching, of course.
You can see projectiles flying now towards the infantry lines.
Excellent, excellent. What, coming from the Nordic sides? Yeah, you can see...
The Nords are forming up their lines straight away.
Yeah, you can see now in this massive, great big, huge field, a huge number of the Nords now forming up against the Swardian line, so you can see their shield line and the crossbowmen behind doing that wonderful little crossbowman, little jump and then a fire crossbow. So it's I'm just waiting for one of those guys to catch an arrow. That will be slightly amusing. As in fact, you can now see the lines moving towards each other. So what are the Nords up to? They just seem to be firing loads of arrows, Cucumber.
The Nords are desperately trying to counter the Swardian cavalry hitting the flank. Look behind the line.
Indeed they are, yes. Now you can obviously see that over there, you can see obviously the Nordic cavalry sniffing around behind, but obviously the Swardian cavalry up the far side as Tweet manages to catch a crossbow bolt. And yeah, you can see that the Swardian cavalry getting into a position to pounce. Yeah, look at this. This is going to be nasty, Cucumber. So here we go. It looks like the cavalry are up against each other now. Notice they avoid...
Go back of the shield wall.
Oh, brutal. Oh, and the king.
2 casualties.
And the king has been taken down. And Charlie the Turtle gets taken down by a bow. So that was interesting, Cucumber. You notice they actually went right past the enemy cavalry and just ploughed into the back of the shield wall.
I did. Those charger horses inflicting a lot of damage in the rear.
Yeah, so now you can see, obviously, what they're doing is they're getting into the melee fight. So that was the opportunity that the Swadian troops are waiting for. That was their cue to attack, and now they're going in with lots of bladed weaponry and all that kind of fancy chopping stuff. So now you can see more shield wall coming in. As you can see, the Swadian cavalry continuing to jump over the top of the lines. The Nord lines trying to hold as best they can, but they're literally in a situation where they're going to be surrounded pretty soon, Cucumber.
Projectiles flying before the melee happens.
As in,
Swadians continue to flank and surround the Nord shield wall as they form a small box to encase themselves.
Oh dear. Yeah, it's not looking good. Not looking good for the Nords. The Nords in the centre here are looking very hedgehog-like right now. There we go. Down goes forward Huskarl Grandmaster. Hitman gets chopped to pieces. And you can see now these Nords are in a really, really desperate state. That was a great combination of attack by the... Oh, Fabian the Fabulous has just team-killed Rickamaroo.
Distraction with a swift strike to the rear.
Yeah. Make of that whatever you wish. As you can now see, obviously.
Innuendos aside.
Innuendos aside, yes, quite literally. So you can see now. Oh, and Crusader Dutch Ref gets taken out by a nicely placed javelin. So that's pretty much most of the Nordic forces have been finished off. There are
There's
few...
only one left. Dragon Crash. Last man standing.
Soon to not be standing. Let's see if we can lock in to see where Dragon Crash is actually located. Those are some mighty big axes.
He's fallen off his horse, and he's surrounded, and he's down.
Fantastic. So there you go. That has been that round over, and we move on to the next round. We'll be right back. And so, after a map change, which, to be honest, doesn't seem to be that much different from the previous map, just the same amount of trees and hills, I noticed that, as we can see over here, there's lots of Nords that are hairy-chested. So we can see now the Nordic team making their way out in what looks to be a quad line, and led, of course, by King Senkris, the long-haired blonde individual, very Nordic, of course, and bare-chested as well. So, yeah, not really much you can say.
Be Nordic otherwise.
Well, yeah, that's true. But, you know, what can you say about a bunch of, you know, hairy Vikings making their way out towards battle? Nothing much you can add to that, really, Cucumber.
Except from a spike or any sort of projectile through the chest.
Yeah, I have to say, you know, Skin tends not to be well known for its armoured qualities, but I guess these guys will find out as, you know, these guys, I mean, you know, they'll fight in all weathers, so I'm surprised. It would be much better if they were fighting in snow with shirts off. That would be kind of funnier, but never mind. So,
there is a Swadian flank going on right at the back of the lines while they're still forming up. Look at the cavalry heading behind the Nordic lines.
Right, okay, so let's see if we can lock in onto the cavalry. Ah, yes.
Unawares.
I see it, yeah. We're watching the cavalry, so tell us what's going on with this cavalry then, Cucumber.
They seem to be ignoring the main line of archers, mixed with the Huskarls that are actually armoured and going straight for the topless men further along who are mounting up on the hill, sticking to the trees. I don't know if they're aware of their presence yet.
Yeah, you can see them obviously doing this big circular movement, going round the back of these guys and trying to go for the shirtless disco train, which is around the back here. And you can see now, yeah, it looks like that the 15 Huskarls and the 77Y have got into an almighty big punch-up. And you can see, there we go, plenty of these Nordic folks going down. As now you've got additional members. Wow, this went pear-shaped very quickly indeed. As in comes the Swadian cavalry to make a complete mincemeat of the lot of them, Cucumber.
There were much casualties to be had.
Indeed there were. Indeed there were. Now,
topless Nords litter the battlefield.
Yeah, although there's probably in there somewhere is a few Nords that aren't so topless as they used to be. So, but we'll have to wait and see. Down goes another one, Kronos.
Reinforcements arrive, lobbing their projectile axes.
Oh, this should be good fun to see what's going on. So, projectile axing going on from the Nordic forces, and they're whipping out their choppers and chucking them at the enemy. We'll have to see how that works out for them. However, the Swadian foot knights are in there as well. And we'll just have to wait and see what's going on. The Swadian forces seem to be doing quite well and actually doing a good job of completely taking it to the Nordic forces, Cucumber.
They're flanking and surrounding any remainders, and the cavalry are preventing any sort of fleeing motions.
Now, it's interesting.
The archers are on the hill by the trees, and the cavalry are swooping in the rear. They
Yeah.
haven't noticed.
Yeah, I can see I can see these. Oh, Legion Kermit just got well and truly finished off, and we're looking at Leader Chaff, and Leader Chaff is having a bad day as he just got sliced across the back of the head. So that's unfortunate for them. Yeah, very unfortunate, and there's not going to be many of the enemy left now. 46 guard Math Man appears to be the only one, and also there's another one down the bottom of the scoreboard, Leggett, also from Legion 46. So Math Man just got taken out, and there goes Leggett. So another successful round for the Swardian Kingdom, and we shall move on to the next round, boys and girls.
Still topless Nords.
Of course, it's what it's all about. And so we return with the next round. Now, we're looking at Duke Georgia, who is leading his troops, even though he seems to be dressed like a very Nordic-like, but he is in fact Swardian, complete with a bucket head right next to him. That's Rickamaroo. And the remainder of his bucket head troops, Lord Taylor and Dutch Ref and Private Semple, along with Stupidness Oko and Romanov at the rear. So the bucket heads are moving out, and then obviously you've got the Tercio guys in as the javelin men, and of course the crossbow men on the left hand side. So let's see if we can find out what the Nords are up to. Any idea then, Cucumber?
The Nords are about to get hit by a Swardian cavalry charge again in the rear. They haven't learnt from last time. They're trying to form up a shield wall on the hill, completely unaware of the cavalry charging straight behind them. Oh, some of the archers have turned around.
Oh, there we go, and you can see Gaz has taken out Marksman Morgan, and there we go. Suddenly they've seen them, they've turned on them, and now they're firing archers into the horses as they run past. So it looks like a sudden turnabout of force of what's the word, luck, I suppose you could say, for the Nordic forces, and now the cavalry will have to get a little bit more creative. I noticed they're going for the shirtless Nords.
Yeah, they're going for the shirtless line.
Oh,
still unaware.
It's just, I feel so sorry for these guys. They can't even have a disco in peace. It's just not fair. So you can see there loads of stabby goodness, loads of polearm fun. And the melee begins as Moofrog gets taken down by Radwell with a nice headshot, and Kronos also taken down by Scotchroom. And you can see the polearm, Gaz running down Firefly. Oh, brutal stuff going on this hill here, Cucumber.
We've got Swardian infantry heading around on the left-hand side, going for a flank, possibly heading for the archers or the shield wall that's forming up at the base of the hill with the Nords.
Yeah, I can see a nice little circle of them. It looks like a combination of archers trying to be protected by shield troops. So you can see, and you can see huge amount.
Falling apart.
Yeah, it's going south pretty fast. As you can see, they're being fired on from multiple directions. Overcome this mass fire of javelins from the Nords. So there we go, the 78th Private Piffle, great name, moving in, as you can see, and now they draw their swords and moving for the attack, and the poor old Nordic forces really just cannot withstand that number of people. Combination of the horses and the stabby goodness that is occurring. So let's see how the numbers are looking as we're looking at the Nords in here. There's Bradders. And down goes Zitog of Calatrava, and there's, oh my goodness, you've got to feel bad for this poor Nord who's remaining. Poor David Lowell, oh dear, that was very unfortunate. He had a bad day at the office, I think it's fair to say. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that has been the line battle over for this evening. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed our dual cast. We will obviously try and, what's the word, circumvent any cucumber-related problems for the next time. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you again next time for more native line battles. True, byes.